Hello and good evening. I'm meteorologist Mike Adcock here with a two-part tropical update today. First on Tropical Storm Halong, they're located southeast of the Mariana Islands, as well as Tropical Depression Indai, east of the Philippines. This briefing is based on the 9 Zulu Japan Meteorological Agency advisories from the 29th of July. Again, first off, we'll start with Tropical Storm Halong. Looking at satellite imagery, we do have a rapidly developing, or compared to this time yesterday, a well-developed system there to the southeast of Guam. Convective banding is getting well wrapped into the center of circulation. You see here on some of the initial, or some of the earlier frames here, kind of an eye-like appearance that has since filled up, so it kind of indicates that this was kind of a spurious feature there, not really the formation of an eye. Microwave imagery really indicates that to the south side of the system is well developed, and you see that here with this convection, that most of it is on the south side of the storm. On the north side, not a whole lot going on. It is is comparatively weaker on the northern side. ASCAT imagery earlier today showed gale force winds about 40-45 knots there on that south side, and then again much weaker there on the northern end. As of 7 p.m. Local time, their center of circulation about 295 kilometers east-southeast of Andersen Air Force Base, or about 325 kilometers to the southeast of Saipan. It is moving to the west-northwest at 15 kilometers per hour. Winds right now 65 kilometers per hour with gusts up to 95, and a pressure of 998 hectopascal. JTWC, on the other hand, a little bit stronger, showing 60 miles per hour with gusts up to 75 miles per hour. That converts over to about 95 kilometers per hour with gusts up to 120. All right, taking a look at the latest warnings out of the National Weather Service. Typhoon warning right now in effect for Rota. Looking for typhoon conditions in the next 24 hours. Tropical storm warning for Guam, Tinian, and Saipan. Again, looking for tropical storm force winds within the next 24 hours. And then I do have a typhoon watch in effect for Guam. Potential of typhoon force winds in the next 48 hours. And then there is a flash flood watch for all of the Marianas, and that's associated with the showers and thunderstorms that will be rolling through with the typhoon. Surface analysis from JMA. Right here is our tropical storm that we're watching right now on the southwestern periphery of the subtropical ridge. Right now moving to the west-northwest. We will see some adjustments though to the track. We'll get to that here in a second. Right now this is the 1028 Zulu image out of Guam. This is a base reflectivity image. Do see the center of circulation there just to the east of the radar beam. And again, lots of shower activity out ahead of that. That is moving across the Marianas. Here's the official track from the Japan Meteorological Agency right now between Rota and Guam. Really a very interesting pattern, very complex pattern that we're dealing with. We are also tracking Indai, that tropical depression, off to the west. As that starts to move off toward Okinawa, the subtropical ridge that I mentioned off to the northeast starts to build into the north of the system. That helps keep it at a lower latitude, that west-northwesterly track, over the next day and a half or so. At that point, the subtropical ridge starts to orient itself northwest to southeast in response to an approaching frontal boundary off to the north. That's going to help steer the storm more northwestward beyond that day and a half time frame. Now, of course, the biggest challenge is going to be intensity. We do anticipate further intensification with this system, but the challenge is we have a tropical upper tropospheric trough, or TUT cell, both to the west of the system as well as to the northeast of the system. That's going to continue to adjust or rather enhance the outflow at various degrees, and so that's going to help enhance intensification and at times suppress the intensification. So moderate uncertainty right now with that intensity forecast. We will take a look at, this is the track forecast from the National Weather Service there in Guam. Highlighted there in blue are tropical storm force winds, so you do see Saipan all the way through Guam being affected there. Rota there in the red shading, that's for typhoon force winds. And of course, any shifts in this forecast will adjust those wind fields. So don't get too focused on the dotted line. That is just the track of the center circulation. There are going to be adjustments there. And of course, the effects of the storm are going to be felt outside of just the eye itself. It's too early to provide any exact wind or storm surge information for any specific locations. We will, of course, basically south of Saipan and southward, we'll have to continue to monitor the progress of this system. For everybody that's in the watched or warned areas, of course, this is the time to begin preparing your home and business or start to rush to get that completed anyway before the decreasing or the impacting weather starts to make its way into the local area. Winds are going to be a threat, specifically tropical storm force winds moving in from Wednesday afternoon through Thursday afternoon. Could see typhoon force winds, especially in and around Rota there on Wednesday evening. Of course, this is all dependent on the exact track of Halong. Storm surge, right now looking about 2 to 4 feet, generally closest to the system, with hazardous surf possible up to 12 to 16 feet, mainly on Wednesday evening. High tide is forecast to be at 10 p.m. local time for both Guam and Rota. And then, of course, with these showers and thunderstorms, looking at 4 to 8 inches of rainfall possible through Thursday. That track is based on the JTWC forecast you do see here. Again, west-northwestward track in the near term, and then as that subtropical ridge starts to shift around more of a northwestward motion, that's going to pull the system off to the northwest. Right now, Iwo Jima, you're going to be keeping an eye on this system in about 6-7 days or so, and then later on, as we get into the middle or latter half of next week, Japan will have to keep an eye on this system, see what ends up happening and how the forecast progresses. All right, now let's go ahead and focus a little bit further west, closer to the Philippines, to Tropical Depression Inday. Right now, very odd system. This is more of a monsoon depression rather than a full-blown tropical cyclone. Do have some deep convection on the periphery of this system. Very poorly defined center of circulation, and that center of circulation is relatively devoid of any convection. Microwave imagery does show 25-35 knot winds. They're along the south side of the system, much weaker on the north. The big thing there is a lot of precipitation. This is a very large system. Even on this image, you notice how it's filling up a large majority of the screen there. About 700 nautical miles in diameter, so very symmetric envelope of deep moisture. Again, the biggest challenge is right now we don't have that convection over the center of circulation. It has been pulsing here a little bit, cycling rapidly, and just really has not consolidated into a true tropical cyclone. Models do, however, intensify this system as it moves off to the northwest. Latest information from the JMA as of 6 p.m. Japan time. They're off to the east of Apari, Philippines, about 830 kilometers, or about 910 kilometers southeast of Okinawa. Right now, near-term track is to the west at 20 kilometers per hour. It is going to move off to the northwest, though. Winds right now 55 kilometers per hour with gusts up to 85 and a pressure of 996 hectopascal. Again, same surface analysis as before. Don't get so focused on this near-term track as we get to as this high pressure starts to move off to the east. That's going to influence the depression off to the north. Here's the official JMA forecast again. Don't get so focused on that westerly movement. Majority of the models take it off to the northwest, basically the far southern islands as we approach Taiwan. You guys are really going to be under the gun here. I think Pagasa actually has a relatively reasonable forecast track with Inday. Again, folks over in Okinawa, you're going to have to continue to monitor the progress of the storm. Not anticipated to be a very significant storm, though, right now. minimal tropical storm strength. We'll take a look here at the models. The forecast track again to the west of Okinawa and southwest of Okinawa. Not saying that Okinawa you're going to dodge it. The system is very, very large, so the entire prefecture will have to continue to monitor the progress of this storm. In terms of intensification, right now I'm really not seeing anything too significant. It's a large system, but not really seeing anything very, very severe. So tropical storm force winds possible, and again, those effects will be felt well away from the center of circulation. Of course, keep it tuned over to westernpacificweather.com. We'll be continuing to post on both systems as they affect Guam and Japan respectively. We'll be posting on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter as well. You see the link or the information there down below. And also go over to storm2k.org. You can join in on the global tropical discussion over there. And make sure to follow me at Twitter, Senior Pepper, as well as Google and YouTube. Thank you all for tuning in. Have a great day and take care.